Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I want to go to this next one, which is really one of my favorite ones. Okay, this was inspired by somebody I really respect, CJ Quinney. So here we go. What is your winning environment? What is your winning environment? You should be writing this down. We're going to go through this together. And the reason why I want to have you spend some time here is because I think people really overlook this. And at the end of this session, you're going to understand why it's so important. So winning environment, you say, Tiff, what is that? Okay. If you think about a sports team, right? They're going to have some type of home field advantage. They're going to have the home court advantage because why? When you talk to an athlete, he's going to say, well, you know what? If I'm at home, if they're living life the way they probably are, I'm getting out of my $10,000 bed, right? The mattress that is going to put me in heaven. I'm having the best rest. I'm not having to travel. So even though, I'm sure if you're flying private, depending on your height, it's not comfortable. Depending on if you're flying into another time zone, you're going to be even more tired. It's just going to compound the effect. You might be flying into a different weather than you're used to. If you're used to practicing in the heat and now you're traveling to the cold, are used to practicing in the cold and now you're traveling to triple digits, where I'm in Texas, so there are going to be so many different variables that now impacts the away team where the home team has the advantage. The home team is used to the environment. The home team just spent their night at home. The home team did not have to get on a flight, did not have to sleep in a crappy hotel bed. The home team has all the advantage on their side because everything around them in their environment gives them an advantage, right? So as an entrepreneur, I want you to describe what is your winning environment. So I'm going to give you some examples of mine, right? I work from home, okay? And it took me a while when I first started working from home to even understand and have the clarity of what my winning environment would be. What is my home field advantage, right? And that's going to be when no one else is home, period. Nobody says that seems simple. Well, somebody could be home and asleep, and it's still, to me, it's like, are they about to come in here? Did I hear something? Are they up? Do they need? Like, it's just, and when I know no one is at home, I set the alarm on stay. So like I hear the beep beep if somebody's coming in, so that I know I am home by myself. Like right now, I'm home by myself. I can do this webinar with you without worrying about somebody listening to me. It's like, what's going on out there? Like that is like a huge thing for me, right? Okay, but I'm not always recording. So what are some other things? So if I am working, I can't have anything as entertainment that has video. Like at all. Even if it's informative, if it has video, it's going to direct the attention of my eyes, right? So I have to have either an audiobook or a podcast, and I need that audiobook or podcast to be informative, but not too technical. I know you're like, okay, you're getting picky, but it's true. Like if it's too technical, let's say if you're watching this while you're working, whatever you were working on, you probably stopped to answer some of these questions and write some of this stuff down, which I'm grateful for. But at the end of the day, whatever you're working on has now shifted to doing this. So I have to carve out time to do like technical work so that I can make sure that I keep my focus on the task at hand, the goals at hand, the things that are my main focus for the day. So I want you to do that as well. I typically like my office about 70 degrees. This is going to give me an advantage because I'm the most comfortable, right? If I'm asleep, I want it lower. But if I'm working, I don't want to be too cold and I definitely don't want to be hot, right? So, I mean, it gets down to being as specific as possible. No personal phone calls. I don't take personal phone calls when I'm working, even though, unless it's my husband or like my parents. My husband, my parents, I'll take it. But I don't take personal phone calls while I'm working because if I worked in a corporate office, I can't just take a ton of personal phone calls. And I'm not going to do it as an entrepreneur. And you know why I don't have to feel bad about it? Because if me taking a call from, my cousin, that takes 45 minutes, and that could have been $300 I could have made in my business. They have no interest in paying me that $300 back. They don't care. They weren't doing anything. So they call me because they think because I work from home and I'm an entrepreneur, I have time to talk. I do not have time to talk. Actually, I have less time to talk because everything is riding on me. And I can't just mosey along and put on Facebook and scroll and still make money. I have to actually hustle and grind it out. And so I have to be very protective of the time where I'm in the office and I don't take personal phone calls unless husband or parents, right? So I use a minimum of 2 to 3 screens on my computer. Like I get very distracted if I have a lot of screens open, or if I have several email inboxes. If I see that it was 17 an hour ago and now it's at 21, ooh, what could have come in that made it jump from 17 emails to 21 emails? No. You have to shut that off. You have to, and now these are mine. These are so you can come up with your own, okay? So if I know what I'm doing the day before, that is a winning environment tactic for me. If I sit down to work and then I have to strategize my day, that sometimes can take 45 minutes to an hour. But if I know exactly what I have to do the day before I sit down, that is setting a winning environment for me. If I don't respond to personal text, so if I don't take calls, I don't typically respond to personal text. If it's quick and short and my answer is going to hold you up, I'll respond. Typically, if my answer will hold you up, I'll respond to you. But if you don't want nothing, I don't got time to respond. I'll respond back later. I'll respond after 5:30, 6 o'clock. Here's one thing that I learned about myself. I do not eat carbs or sugar while I'm working. It is what it is. My body, my brain works better. I don't get tired. I can just be a well-oiled machine if I stay away from those type of foods while I'm working. Now, sometimes when I get off of work, there might be a little carbohydrate involved. It may or may not be Mike and Ike's involved. I cannot tell you if that's the case. But I don't do it while I'm working because I'm not going to risk anything that's going to hinder my momentum in the day. I just won't risk anything. I need my desk to be clean. Is it always clean? No. But if my desk is clean and organized, that is a winning environment for me. If I have, see, look at this. This is a good pen, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. If I have a gel pen, game changer for me. Okay, I'm big on pens, right? If I have a gel pen that is no smear, like I can write all my ideas and what I have going on, and I don't like the real pointy kind. You know how you write and you feel like it's about to rip the paper? It has to be smooth, gel, no smear. You're a friend of mine. So this is the one. I like this. I don't get paid for this advertisement. This is an Energel 0.7. I got these on Amazon. Okay, so and if I have, here's the last one that I wrote down to talk about with you guys. 1.5 to 2 hours undistracted every single day. So if I can get up early enough to have 1.5 to 2 hours of work time completely undistracted, that literally can add commas to my bank account. Like, it is bizarre how much I can get done in the first thing in the morning if no one bothers me at all. And I have the discipline to just work, right? So there's some common ones that you guys may have, which are staying off social media. If your business requires you to be on social media, setting a allotted time where you do that. You may have, turning off notifications on your phone. Maybe it's best for you to listen to music. If it works for you, use it. If it works for you as a podcast, use it. Audiobooks, use it. But what I want you to do, okay, here's the thing, because you can't, this is what you can't miss out on. I want you to write in incredible detail what your winning environment is for yourself. That would give you every slight advantage. And the reason why is because if you give yourself just a 0.5% advantage, it's going to increase your income. If you give yourself a 10% advantage, it's going to increase your income. And the more that I started to prepare to kind of go over this with you guys, I started to laugh to myself because I said, all this time, right? Like the divas in the world that they need the blue M&Ms and they need a specific type of water and they need the room temperature a certain way and they need, a certain type of shawl and a certain type of robe that's been washed in a certain type of detergent. And I thought my whole life, like, are you crazy? You're insane. But now that when you're out here hustling for yourself, I have realized now That is their way of creating their home court advantage. That is their way of creating their winning environment, because they have to produce the same exact thing that they're used to producing. And so they're trying to recreate the environment that allows them to create that type of energy and produce on a high level consistently. And the only way to do that is to not just protect what you eat and what you're doing, but everything around you, so that you give yourself the advantage. You give yourself the advantage to deliver and execute at a high level. And I want you to do that for your home office, your work office, whatever you need to do. If you work in an office around a lot of people, I need you to create your winning environment as best as you can protect it. Just imagine if after you do this project, you realize that 50% of the time you're not in your winning environment, which is sad. But you may realize that. You may say, Tiff, my winning environment, which is just me too, is working from home, right? So I am away. I am hugely feeling like the away team if I have to travel out for an appointment. It messes up my whole day. Even when I'm working in the morning, it's in the back of my mind, you can't really take all this time. You gotta go get ready. It's an hour drive. I live in Dallas. Everything's an hour away. So it's like, it messes up my whole day. So what I started to do a long time ago is I said, well, I'll only take out of office meetings one time a week. Okay. The more I evolved into my business, I just cut that down to once a month, maybe twice a month. Other than that, I'm in my winning environment. Other than that, I'm doing what's best for my company, which is me being in an environment where I can make them the most money. And that's most of the time right here in this office. Does it mean that I have to travel? Does it mean that some months I have to come out more than I would like to? Absolutely. It means that sometimes I do have to compromise, but I'm aware of what gives me an advantage, and I fight for my advantage. I fight to be able to do that. Who in my company is a social butterfly that loves to go out to these appointments and can do that for me? Let's get them connected. If you're a real estate agent, you can't take it. You can't just be in the office all month, right? It doesn't work for you. But there's other things that you can create that is going to produce your winning environment. Write it out and make it plain so that you know, okay? And once you do that, fight for your winning environment every single day. Fight for your winning environment. If you have to offend your family members, hey, if I'm in here working, I'll come out for coffee at 10 and lunch at 12. Other than that, don't come in here unless somebody's bleeding, and I mean profusely. Okay, not a little cut. Band-Aids are in the medicine cabinet. Like, you have to protect your winning environment. And the reason why you have to protect your winning environment, because it changes your income. And the minute you realize that as an entrepreneur, the minute you'll be serious about this part of the project, okay? So